Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trolleheim with your host, Rabbi Anibal. Great to see you. And we have something different today. You can see my keyboard here. I was just making coffee. I have my fancy, I did a cappuccino today. But I didn't put my Splenda. We are going to study a little bit of the Haggadah, but mostly based on the music. You know, what I wanted to do is something that you can go back to this video if you need to practice the song for your own Sedarim, for the Seders. What do you think about that? Okay, we are going to start pretty soon. Hopefully everything will work. Just because I've never done this way with this keyboard. It's all a fancy kind of thing. I have my headphones thing. We'll see how it goes. Okay, hopefully everything will be fine. Kind of the angle is crooked because the camera is a wide angle, so it goes kind of funny. So cheers, everyone, and welcome to Trolleheim. Let me know in the chat, meanwhile, while we wait for all our classmates. Let me know what are your plans for the Seder. Okay? Hey, Jerome. Let's see what you say here. Feeling better. Okay. Yeah. The weather is non-stop here in Winnipeg. We are almost the end of March. It's March 19th, and we had like a couple of days ago minus 25. It was crazy, really, really cold, really, really cold. Previous years, end of March, I was already taking my scooter out, but there is no way. Everything is frozen. But let me know, guys. Let me know your plans for the Seder. Are you hosting? Are you going to be invited somewhere else? Like, I will tell you my Seder. Second Seder is the community Seder that we do with Shaarey Zedek. But for the first Seder, I do a family-friendly online service with my family. But this year we invited another family to join us. The kids are about Ronen's age, but they also sing in Dor Hadash. So it's going to be hopefully lots of music, lots of singing for all of you. So if you want to join us with that, that's awesome. That's awesome. Janet, machine. I have an Nespresso Virtuo Pop, I believe it is. I don't know. This is a fancy one. Lots of chrome parts and thing. But this one that I'm having here is not Nespresso today. I use the Shaarey Zedek one. I've been trying it for the last couple of days. It's different. It's not as dark as the one that I like, but I had to try it. That's why I did a cappuccino. I used an espresso frother for the milk, but not for the coffee. Okay. And I remember that the Nespresso capsules are kosher for Passover, by the way. At least the plain flavors. Don't go and do these almond and maple kind of things because those are not hechsher. I don't know if those are even kosher. But if you want for Passover, the typical Nespresso is totally fine. What you have to do is I will descale the machine before Passover to make it, just in case. It's not there is anything wrong with coffee all year round, but that's what I do. I descale my Nespresso. That's what I use during Pesach, but not for the Yom Tov. Yom Tov, I don't use Nespresso. I have this boiling water on the tank for the 2 days. It's different. So I use instant. I buy the special Israeli coffee instant just for the first 2 days of Pesach and the last 2. So I don't use the machine for that. Shelley, you use the Pixie. Yeah, you use the old capsules, the small ones. Those are different. I like the flavor more of those, the Pixies, but I like the convenience of the big one because they make you a big cup of coffee with one capsule. So it just depends what you like most. Brenda. Yeah, it's going to be streamed. I believe both Sedarim are going to be streamed. Let's see about it. I'm not sure about the second. The first for sure. What it used to be called the pajama Seder, but then nobody was wearing a pajama, so I just call it a family-friendly Seder. And there is no pressure to wear a pajama or anything like that. Lori, you said at war with your oven today. Why? Yeah, Jerome. Yeah. Okay, so let's begin. Uh, to begin the class, I'm gonna I'm going to show you something here. Um, I will recommend, even though I will be showing the pages online, I will recommend for you to get the PDF of the Seder, which you can get here. I will put it here. You can get the Haggadah there on that website, swinnipeg.ca/Haggadah. I believe in the front page it says 2025. Okay, but it doesn't matter. The content is the same. What we do is we reprint the first page. The rest is different. It's not going to change for what I'm going to show you here. So you see, once you print it, you will get something like this. That we always print a bunch for the congregation, so people who live in Winnipeg, usually they can come over and get it. Get a copy, free copy. Free for everyone. We got a sponsorship from Vickers, so they're great. So we can give it for free. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Okay, and okay. So let's begin. Lots of music. Most likely, I will do the first part today. Let's see how far we can go, and then next week I'm gonna continue with the next part, and just like that. So I'm gonna go here, and right before we start with the Seder, one thing that you have to be aware of. Okay, one thing you have to be aware of is that the first thing for Pesach is not necessarily the Seder, but is the searching and elimination of the Hametz. So if you have the Haggadah, it's going to be on page number 2, and this is where you're going to see, and you have to say a blessing, and then you have to go around the house searching for all the traces of Hametz that you may find. My recommendation is always be sure you find something, because otherwise you are making what in Hebrew is called bracha lebatala. It's like a useless blessing, and that is forbidden. So you have to be sure you're going to find Hametz. The most traditional people, they use a feather and a candle. You don't have to. You can use also a flashlight. Is way better than a candle, and it's totally halachic to use a flashlight, even though it's better because it's safer than going around your house with a candle in this day and age around the houses. Everything is so flammable, right? So you're going to do that, and you're going to say a blessing, and you're going to do a declaration that you have it there. And then in the morning, you're gonna have breakfast. Maybe you will have a little bit more chametz during the breakfast, and then you're gonna say the second declaration that you're gonna find on page 3 of the Haggadah. This is very important. What we are saying is we are making any chametz that we may have not found during a Pesach cleaning. We are making it hefker. Hefker is something that is ownerless, because one of the prohibitions of Pesach is owning chametz, not just eating it. You cannot own it. So what we say is, well, if we didn't find it, or maybe we didn't sell it, we didn't eat it before, whatever is around, maybe that we can't even see it, is ownerless, is hefker. Hefker could also be something, for example, you find on the street, and it doesn't belong to anybody. And so it's called hefker. It's ownerless. So we have to say these two declarations. I don't want to read it. You can find it on the Haggadah, and they are in Aramaic. And if you don't speak Aramaic, like I'm pretty sure you don't. I don't. Then you have to say it in Aramaic and in English. Okay. It has to be said this on a language that you understand. But remember, before you do all this, you have to sell your chametz. And for that, please visit our website, swinnipeg.ca/chametz. And there you are going to find the form so you can sell your chametz online through us. You're going to make our senior rabbi, Rabbi Carney Shalom Rose, your agent to sell the Hametz this year. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome Martha McDowell. Welcome to the class. We are going to continue right now with the first part of the Seder, which is always the lighting of the candles. Okay? Not much difference of what we do on Shabbat, that we start the dinner with the candles. So the only difference is during Pesach, the blessing is different. The words. We start the same, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu. That's all the same that you will say on Pesach. Lehadlik ner, but it's not Shel Shabbat. It's Lehadlik ner Shel Yom Tov, the festival lights. It's not Shel Shabbat. On Pesach is Shel Yom Tov. And then you're going to say the She'echeyanu, what we are going to thank God for giving us life to celebrate the Seder. So that's why we have these two blessings. I have a little melody that I use for my Seder, and I want to share it with you. It was written by Cantor Sol Zim. There are many different melodies for the candles, but this is the one we use at home. And I'm going to use this so I can listen to the piano, and I'm going to sing it for you. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leadlik ner, v'tzivanu leadlik ner, v'tzivanu leadlik ner, Shel Yom Tov. And everybody sings Amen. Okay, so that's the way you start the Seder, with the blessings for the candles. Okay, and immediately after, as I mentioned before, we are going to recite the Shehecheyanu. Okay, the Shehecheyanu is going to be recited after, as well, after the Kiddush. So there are basically two Shehechayanus during the Seder. So I will sing it right. I will sing it for you when we reach the time of the Kiddush. The next thing we do before we recite the Kiddush, which is part of the first out of the 4 cups, at least I have the tradition in my house, and that's why we put it on our Haggadah, to bless our children. Okay? So I have a beautiful melody for you, how I bless my son at home, and hopefully you will use this melody to bless your children. They can be present, they can be away, but have them in mind and send them the spiritual blessings their way. So the idea of this is, because this video is going to stay on our channel after this class is over, you can always go back and play it again and you learn it if you want to use it for your Seder. So the blessing for the children that I'm going to play was written by Yossi Green, recorded by Abraham Fried many, many years ago, and I want to share it for you, with all of you. Yesimcha Elohim Kefrahim Vehi Menashe La da 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 la da 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 la la la. That was for the boys, not for the girls. Yesimcha Elohim Kesara Rivka Rachel Veleya, la da 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 da, la da la da da, la la la, for everybody. Yevarechecha Adonai veishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha vichunecha, His Adonai panav elecha, veyasem lecha shalom. La da 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 da, la 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 da da, la da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. His Adonai panav elecha, veyasem lecha shalom. And that now that you bless your children, we can continue with the order of the Seder. So the next thing we're going to do is to sing basically all the steps of the Seder, the 15 steps of the Seder. Sometimes in some editions of the Haggadah, it's 14, not 15, because the 7 and 8, sometimes they are combined, Motzi Matzah, two different ways of counting. One counts 14, the other one counts 15. Okay? And there are also different melodies on how we sing all the steps of the Seder. I will show you the one that I use that is based on an Israeli song called Adama V'Shamayim. Adama V'Shamayim. You can Google it after if you want. It's a beautiful song. I also do it with my choir with the original lyrics. But because it's fun, it's the one that I use with my Seder, and you can learn it to use for your Seder as well. And it goes like this. Very upbeat. Kadesh urchatz, karpas yachatz, magit raketza, motzi mahatza, maror korech, shulchan orech, tzafum barech, Hallel nirtza. Everybody, hey ya, 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 ho, hey ya, 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 ho, hey ya, 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 ho, hey ya, 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 ho, hey ya, 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 ho, hey ya, 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 ho. And you have to decide when you want to finish that song, because you can keep going. Depends on the people you have at home, right? Depends on their spirit and depends how sport they are. You can keep going, hey ya, 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 virtually forever. So it's a very good way to start the Seder with a high note, if you know what I mean. Not the kind of high note, Brenda, that you want. But it's a high note with everybody to start with good spirits, okay? So that is the way that we recount all the steps of the Seder. And then after that, we go straight into the Kiddush, which is the first out of 4 cups. There are different ways of singing the Kiddush. Let me go here. I will go here. It's called the Kadesh. This is the first step of the Seder. Remember? Kadesh. First step. And it's the Kiddush, first out of 4 cups. And there are different melodies, as I mentioned before, that we use. The one that I use, that is the one... Anne from Europe. Welcome to the class. Great to have you. So, the Kiddush, there are different melodies. I usually use for the entire Seder, every time that there is a Baruch Ata Adonai, right? I use the melody that goes Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, that kind of melody. So Bore Pri Agafen, and then I will continue. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Olam Veromemanu Mikol Lashon Vekideshanu Vemitzvotav Vatiten Lanu Adonai Eloheinu Be'ava Moadim Lesimcha Chagim Uzmanim Lesason Et Yom Chag HaMatzot Hazeh Zeman Cheruteinu Mikra Kodesh Zeicher Litziat Mitzrayim כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ומועדי קודשך, בשמחה ובששון הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש ישראל, והזמנים. And then we go into the Sheheyanu before we drink the first cup. Okay, first we are going to sing the Sheheyanu. I'm going to show you the lyrics in a minute, but I want to explain something because we don't mention Pesach here. Check it out. We don't mention Pesach. What we mention is Chag HaMatzot, Hazeh Zman Cheruteinu, the festival of the matzah, the time of our freedom. The reason for this is that technically Pesach doesn't exist anymore. Pesach used to be the sacrifice of the lamb. But we don't have a temple, so we don't have the sacrifice of the lamb. So there is no Korban Pesach. There is no Pesach on our table anymore. Pesach was something that you put on your table, was the lamb that you put on your table, but doesn't exist anymore. But the Torah mentioned two different festivals that they overlap. One is Chag HaPesach, the festival where you sacrifice the lamb, doesn't exist anymore. And the other one that lasts for a week is called Chag HaMatzot, the festival of the matzah. Okay, so we still call it Pesach, but in remembrance of the Pesach, but technically it's Chag HaMatzot, the festival of the matzah, that is regardless, sacrifice or no sacrifice, we'll still need to eat matzah for a week. So that's the one that the Kiddush mentions, okay? And Zman Cheruteinu, because it is the time of our freedom when we were freed from Egypt. So that's the thing. And let's sing the Sheheyanu, okay? I don't have it here, but let's do it. Let's sing the Sheheyanu that we sing right after the Kiddush. This is the melody that I use at home for the Sheheyanu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. And that is the Sheheyanu, okay? So for the Sheheyanu that we recite it for the first 2 nights, and that's it. We don't recite it at during the festive meal at the end of Pesach, but we do sing it for the first 2 nights. Okay, that is technically the same one. It's in Israel they have only one night of Pesach at the beginning and one at the end. Okay, the one at the end. But again, there is no Seder, but it's still Chag. So they still do the Kiddush and everything. Okay? So this is the Sheheyanu that I use at home. You may have a different version of the Sheheyanu. Now, what comes after? And again, I hope you have the Haggadah. It's either here or I will skip this. Either is the printed one from the previous year, or you can go to our website and you can get the Haggadah there. you can go to szwinnipeg.ca/Haggadah. You can download the PDF for free. So maybe it's going to be easier for you to follow along the class if you have that. Okay? So let's continue. Next, during the Seder, you're going to wash your hands. This one is without any blessings. Why is that? Because we're about to dip the vegetable in salted water. And the Talmud said that any food that is dipped into a liquid requires washing of the hands before it is eaten, but without a blessing. So that's what we do. So there are two washing of our hands during the Seder. One is here, and the other one is going to be before we eat matzah, because matzah is bread. It's unleavened bread, but it's still bread. So the same way on Shabbat, before you eat the challah, you wash your hands. We do the same during the Seder. Before we eat matzah, we wash our hands, so we will have two hand washing during the Seder, okay? And after that, remember, we wash our hands to eat the vegetable dipped on salt water, so we are going to go right away into the carapace, the green vegetable. You're going to say the blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri ha'adamah. You're going to dip it and eat it. Okay, so this is also not like kind of an appetizer. It doesn't have to be small. It has to be, the rabbi said that at least the size of an olive, but it's at least. You can have quite a bit of green vegetables. This is an appetizer. When people say, when do we eat? The Seder is too long. Have a little more vegetables at the beginning. There is no problem with that. Take that as an opportunity to eat some veggies, because you just said the blessing, Borei Pri Adamah, and that would allow you to eat any kind of vegetable. So it's a good chance to eat something before dinner time. Just a little tip here, so you can share it with people coming to your Seder. After that, we are going to break the middle matzah. Remember, in the middle of the table, you will have 3 matzot, what we call the matzah of the for the Seder. You will also have other matzah for people to eat during dinner, but this is for display in the middle. 3. Usually you would like to use something like matzah shmura, the handmade matzah, the round one is nicer. It's nicer, and you know that it was made specifically for the Seder. It's not mass produced. So that's what we use at home, the matzah shmura. So you're going to take the middle one and you're going to break it, right? And when you break matzah, it always happened, one piece is larger than the other. So what you're going to do, take the large one, wrap it in a napkin or something, and put it aside or hide it. That's going to be the afikoman. That is what the kids look at the end, because you cannot finish the Seder without eating the afikoman, so the kids will ask for some kind of ransom and things. So this is when you do it. Okay? This is why you do it. At this time of the service. Now, as I said, the karpas could be any kind of vegetable that is not bitter. So you can use celery, parsley, or even boiled potato. That's what it is. It's nice to eat a boiled potato at the beginning. It's filling. So you can wait a little longer. You can sing more before dinner. Just saying. Try to do that, and let's see how it goes. Okay? And then we go, at least, I know if you go to a traditional Haggadah, you may have more readings in between with explanations and things. But it's in the Shaarey Zedek Haggadah, we really try to do it as short as possible. It's geared towards family with younger kids, or kids or families that like to move it a little faster, right? Or to give more space for personal reflection instead of reading somebody else's reflection. So this is a good opportunity. Now we are going to move into the Magid. This is when we really tell the story of the Exodus, and this is where many Haggadot are differ from each other. Because this is when you're going to have all these different commentaries about verses talking about the Exodus and so forth. Okay? But one of the most famous parts of the Magid is one of the opening paragraph, which is alachma anya. And it's a paragraph that explains why we eat matzah. Why we eat matzah. And there is a well-known song. A well-known song that is called alachma anya. This is the plain poor bread. Alachma anya. And it goes like this. Alachma anya diachalu abatana be'ara de Mitzrayim be'ara de Mitzrayim kol ditrich yetev veichol kol ditrich yetev veimsach ashata acha l'shana haba be'ara de Israel ashata abdei l'shana haba b'nei chorin. That's the melody we use at home. I learned in Argentina. There's a few variations of the end. I remember having this conversation with teachers at the Hebrew Day School here. Nobody knows how to finish this one. So different people compose different endings. That's the way that I use. And of course, the language, if you haven't recognized it, is Aramaic. Okay? Many of the things of the Haggadah are in Aramaic. So, Brenda, you said, so that were potato chips counted in... What potato chips, the problem is because the way they are prepared is not borei pri adama, it's already shiakornia vidvaro, it's processed. It's considered processed food, so we don't use it unless it has to be almost in a natural form, or like if you make it yourself, then you could be borei pri adama, of course, and you can have it there for the kids. Yes, absolutely. And some people like, it's typical here. I know in the States, in Winnipeg, people dip the chips in vinegar. So you can do that. You can have vinegar and dip it in vinegar, because as far as if you dip the vegetable on liquid, it's fine. So you can use vinegar and chips. Yeah, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. But again, as I mentioned, Magid, we start telling the story of the Exodus, and there will be many different stories, many different verses. We start from the beginning with the story of Abraham and all that. Okay? So the other part that is iconic for the Magid is the Manishtana. The 4 questions. Usually you will have the youngest kid in the house singing this one, right? But anybody can sing it. Some places I've seen that everybody sing it together, and that's fine as well. The melody, everybody knows it, so I hope you're going to sing it with me. Hello, Lori. You said not soy sauce. Soy sauce, unfortunately, is made out of wheat. It has wheat. So it's not kosher for Passover, unless you can get one. I haven't been able to find a soy sauce that is kosher for Passover. Okay? And it's just not. So we don't use it for Pesach. Okay. The 4 questions, sing it with me, please. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol haleilot שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה, חמץ ומצה. הלילה הזה כולו מצה. הלילה הזה כולו מצה. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים שאר ירקות, הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, מרור, מרור. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, מרור, מרור. שבכל הלילות איננו מטבילים אפילו פעם אחת, אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, שתי פעמים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, שתי פעמים. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים בין יושבים ובין מסובים, בין יושבים ובין מסובים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובים. And those are the 4 questions. The next part of the Seder after that is kind of an attempt to try to answer that. If you go to the Haggadah, you will see that is we study and we analyze things, and sometimes this is a good opportunity to point at the plate, the Seder. I always wait for this time because a lot of questions, so we can go beyond the 4 questions and people can ask why we have what we have in the center plate. Okay, so this is also a tip for you. Leave the explanation of the plate for this time when we have all the questions, so we can have way more than 4 questions, and to open the floor for questions, maybe even from the kids that they want to know more about that. One of the most, I will tell you one that is the most common one. What is the you see what is it here? Why do we have 2 different bitter herbs? You see, on top it says bitter herb, and in the bottom it says bitter vegetable. What's the difference of the 2, right? What's the difference? What is called the maror, that is usually horseradish in the Ashkenazi tradition. And then you have the bottom, the chazeret. Chazeret is also maror. It's also maror. And it's usually the original maror, that it was the heart of the romaine lettuce. That is truly bitter, are not hot or spicy. So that's why we usually, if you see the Seder plate, most of them, they will have space for both, for maror and chazeret. Some of them, they don't have chazeret, they only have maror. So I don't know if you have access to whatever you're going to use. Check it out and let me know if you have only 1 or the 2 spots to put the herbs during the Seder. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Okay? And then let's continue. Let's keep going on the Magid. That we have the song Avadim Ayinu. And this is a very interesting one, because the Avadim Ayinu that everybody knows is not really in the Haggadah. Everybody always struggled to find it. So in the Shaarey Zedek Haggadah, we added it because we printed it. So, but it's an Israeli song that is not really part of the Haggadah. Avadim Ayinu hu Ayinu. In the Haggadah is different. If you have a traditional Haggadah, check it out, and you will see that the text in the Haggadah does not match the way the kids learn it at school. Just a cute fact to share with people on your Seder, and depends on what version of the Haggadah you have. You may or may not have the version of the Avadim Ayinu that the kids learn at school. So that's why I said you can always download our Haggadah and print it yourself, so everybody will have the same, and it's a modern one with nice reflections, so just for you to have in consideration. So let's sing Avadim Ayinu. So everybody are ready to sing, and please sing with me. Avadim Ayinu. Avadim ayinu, ayinu, לפרעה ומצרים, במצרים. Avadim ayinu, ata bnei chorin. Avadim ayinu, ata bnei chorin, bnei chorin. Ata bnei chorin, bnei chorin. That's the version that we all know, I guess, right? If you know a different one, let me know in the chat. Shelly, you had the two slots on the plate. Very good. Very confusing. It's not confusing. It's just you need to put there two different elements. One is for the horseradish. The other one is for the lettuce, the heart of a lettuce. That is the original maror. So that's all what it is. Okay. So now you know what to put in the two the two spots. So Brenda, you also have the two spots. Great. Lori, you asked about the vinegar. Vinegar could be made out of different things. You can have vinegar made of wine, for example, cider. But then you have to be sure that whatever you use, it says kosher for Passover. There are plenty of vinegars that they are kosher for Passover. The one that is not, common thing that they are not is mustard and thing that is made from grains. So we Ashkenazi, we don't eat it. Sephardic, they eat more because they can eat the category called kitniot, which there are other grains that they are not the original grains forbidden for Pesach, but then Ashkenazi rabbis added that. It's a little complicated, but basically, if you're Ashkenazi or Sephardic, or what's your Pesach tradition, you'll probably know by now if you eat or not eat kitniot. If you eat rice on Pesach, you eat kitniot. If somebody told you in your family, no, we don't eat rice on Pesach, you don't eat kitniot, and then you will have a lot of restrictions during Passover that the Sephardics won't have. Okay? So let's continue. Baruch HaMakom. These are all part of the Magid. There are lots of texts in between that you can ask different participants to read it as you move along. And then eventually, when you come to a song, you all sing it together. In our Haggadah, it's very easy to know when that you have a song because we have that kind of symbol with the clef sign and the musical notes. So it's very clear which part of the Haggadah have a traditional melody. And those are the ones that I'm singing for you. And again, you can always go back to this video and review during the week all this song. So the next one that we are going to sing is called Baruch HaMakom. This is the way we do it here at the Shaarey Zedek. Baruch HaMakom. Do you know this one? It's hold on. There. Baruch HaMakom, Baruch Hu. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Shenatan Torah Lemo Israel. Baruch HaMakom, Baruch Hu. Baruch HaMakom, Baruch Hu. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Shenatan Torah Lemo Israel. Baruch Hu. That's Baruch HaMakom. That's the melody we use. There are other melodies I understand for many of these things, but I want to show you a little bit of what we do here in our congregation. Okay? Then after that, we go into one of my favorites. One of my favorite parts, that is Veishi Amda, and I believe it's on page 18 of the Haggadah. Why do I like this so much? I will say it's one of the most current texts of the Haggadah. That is, has the iconic and famous phrase, Shelo echad bilvad amad aleinu lechaloteinu. For not just one alone has risen against us to destroy us. Okay, it's very current. And it says, in every generation they rise against us to destroy us. And the Holy and Blessed One saves us from their hands. Now, it's very powerful, very powerful. And let me tell you a little bit of the dilemma that I have every year for the Seder with this one. Because the traditional melody that we use, I will sing it a little bit for you, and then I want to explain what I'm trying to say here, okay? Let's see, tell me if this is the melody that I'm going to sing next is the one that I use at home, okay? והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד מלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. Yeah, so Brenda said, this is the melody I grew up with. Yeah, I will say almost everybody knows this. The problem with this is the melody does not fit the words. I don't know if you realize that. The melody does not fit the words. What it says, in every generation somebody tried to kill us, right? And then you go, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. In every generation somebody tried to kill us. I believe it doesn't really fit the words, the way people sing it. We make it too happy. If you read the words, it's a very somber song. Very somber song. So there were other attempts to write melodies, different melodies, more appropriate melodies for this one. They didn't go anywhere except for one that became very famous in Israel and then from there spread all over the diaspora. And I want to share it with you. It's a beautiful song by Jonathan Razel, Israeli singer, songwriter. He's religious, and he wrote what I consider, and he considered, because he explains this in one of his concerts, a better version of Ve'ishe Amda, and it goes like this. Let's see. Ve'ishe Amda לאבותינו, ואישה עמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד מלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. ואישה עמדה לאבותינו, ואישה עמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידם. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידם. ואישה עמדה לאבותינו, ואישה עמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד מלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידם. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידם. מצילנו, הקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידם. לה דה די די, לה דה 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 לי לי, לה דה 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 די לי, לה דה 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 די, לה דה די די, לה דה 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 לי לי, לה לה די לי לי לי, לה דה די לי לי, לה דה די לי, לה דה 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 לי, לה דה דה לי לי, לה דה 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 די, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידם. And that, I will say, is more fitting for the topic that we are covering here. To reflect on anti-Semitism in every generation. That it's in every generation there is somebody attacking the Jewish people. And what we do about it. I think this is a way better melody to help us reflect. And I know, for my seder, I bring my piano. And I play and we all sing. So I don't know how comfortable you feel with doing this, but in your seder you can actually play the melody of Jonathan Razel singing Veishamda. And then you all sing it along. That's one way that you can do it to bring something more inspiring to that. So Ariel, yes. I'm going to do Kabbalat Shabbat tomorrow. Yes. And the next week as well. Okay? So the next thing we do, and I think that will be the last one for today. The next thing I sing, or I hope you sing, is the Dayenu. This is the only one that the one we all sing is not the way it's written in the Haggadah. I don't know if you ever noticed that. The Haggadah is different kind of wording. It still says Dayenu, but the way it's written is way longer, and is different. It's different. So I'm going to sing it the way we learned it at school, or the kids learned it at school, and most people sing it under Sidarim, even though it's not the way it's in the Haggadah, but everybody makes adaptations so it will fit the melody that they learn. Okay? So I would sing it for you. I believe it's on page 21 of the Haggadah, the Dayenu. Let me double check if the numbers still match. Yes, page 21, Dayenu. I'm going to bring it here, and we're going to close with Dayenu. Okay? So it goes like this. But you have to sing it with me. Okay? This is the last one. Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Ilu Otzianu ממצרים הוציאנו דיינו, 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 דיינו. אילו נתן לנו את השבת נתן לנו דיינו, 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 דיינו. אילו נתן לנו את התורה נתן לנו דיינו, 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 דיינו. And of course, you can always add more verses to the Ilu Ichnisanu L'Eretz Israel. There is a long list of things that you can add. This is a beautiful one to be creative on things that, that we feel that it will be enough and we should be thankful for. So feel free to edit it, right? Yeah, Laura is definitely playing with good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Dayenu. No, but Dayenu should be in a good way. It should be in a good way. That's it's an invitation to celebrate small victories. That's the way I say. You don't have to wait until you have everything to be grateful. We can be grateful wherever we are. That's the thing. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this class. A little bit different. I have my piano here for all of you. And next class, I'm going to do the same. We're going to continue going through the Haggadah with more songs all the way to the end, including Birkat Hamazon, and Echad Miyodea, Echad Gadia, and stuff like that, so we can all have an opportunity to refresh and to review all the Pesach songs, okay? So thank you, everyone. Remember to give us the thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so you will always be notified every time we go live or every time we upload something to our channel, okay? And this class is going to be rebroadcasted tonight at 8 p.m. Central. I think it's Central Daytime now. But that's when we are going to rebroadcast, so you have a chance to review everything. And I also hope to see you all next week. Until then, please be safe, be blessed. Remember to sell your chametz. Visit sz@winnipeg.ca/chametz to fill up your form. And hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone, and welcome to all the new people for the class. We always meet at the same time, okay? Every Thursday at noon Central Time. Bye now. Bye, everyone.